Welcome to Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition. I'm continuing my review of my Amazon campaign in last season's Open Ladder. In my first two matches, my opponents conceded before half time, so I got double the MVP awards. But unfortunately, I was deprived of the opportunity to level up specific players. I was specifically hoping to level up my Blitzers as quickly as possible, because I was keen on giving them guard and mighty blow. The Blitzers need guard because the Amazon team does not have a player with greater than 3 strength, so they are going to struggle a bit when they are facing strength 4 and strength 5 players. The Blitzers also need mighty blow, I think, because it would give them the fear factor. All teams need the fear factor because it makes the opposition wary. Mighty blow players in particular have a greater than average chance of removing opposition players from the field. In addition to that, I think one of the less appreciated elements of the mighty blow skill is that the opposition tends to focus on the mighty blow players. What typically happens is your mighty blow player is the target of blitzers and fouls, which is not too bad, because if they are blitzing against your mighty blow player, they aren't blitzing your ball carrier, they aren't blitzing your vulnerable line woman. So this is the setup. You will see none of my players have leveled up. 2 matches played, no one leveled up yet. On the plus side, none of the Chaos team have leveled up yet either. The Chaos team is coached by someone who I've played before. I played against his Dwarf team while I was playing my Chaos Dwarf team. What I noticed was my opposite number was very aggressive with his dice rolls. He was making a lot of dodges with his Dwarves. He was making a lot of go for it. So one of the things about this particular Chaos build is that he's opted to go with only 1 Chaos Warrior and 8 Beastmen. Is it 8? 10 Beastmen and 1 Minotaur. I think the reason the other coach chose this particular team roster is because of the environment. The Open Ladder is a very unusual gaming environment for Blood Bowl. It only has 2-minute turns. On one hand, it means matches are shorter in duration, but it also means that new players would struggle to make moves in that time span. It is particularly challenging to play the vampires with 2-minute turns, as I found out recently. So one of the interesting things about the Chaos team is that they eventually get turned into murder machines, but at the TV 1000 level or close to that, they are lacking a block. So their blocks aren't very reliable. The Beastmen do start with horns, which gives them +1 strength when they are blitzing. So from 3 they go to 4, but only when they are blitzing. Aside from that, they have very ordinary stats: average movement, average strength, average agility, and average armor. The Chaos Warriors are kind of unusual because they have below average movement, above average strength, and average agility. It's very unusual for a strength 4 player to have agility 3. They also have above average armor, but they do not start with any skills. And getting them the block skill which they really need to make them dependable during blocks can be a bit of a struggle. The Minotaur is a pretty unusual choice. I think the Chaos coach chose this Minotaur, chose to start with the Minotaur because he was hoping to injure players and force concessions. And that happens frequently in the Open Ladder. New coaches tend to concede as soon as one player is injured, as we'll soon see in my next match. But right now, my main concern was this Minotaur. Movement only 5, but above average strength, and he also has horns. So when the Minotaur is blitzing, it has 6 strength. It has below average agility. I don't think that really matters. Generally, you're not going to find Minotaurs dodging a lot, and only average armor. To compensate for the fact that it's a big guy, there's usually a nega trait, and the nega trait for the Minotaur is the wild animal skill. There is a 50% chance the Minotaur is going to refuse to make a move when it's asked to move. However, when it's asked to block or blitz, it goes up to 83% chance of succeeding, but it still can fail 1 in 6 attempts. It also comes with frenzy, which means if there's a pushback, the Minotaur will get another chance to knock down the player. But the most notable omission here is the lack of the block skill. The Minotaur does not start with block. It has to roll doubles to get the block skill. So it is susceptible to the 1 in 9 if it's making a 2-die block. My players, none of them have leveled up. I have 2 reserves now because I bought Esther for my last match. But aside from that, I was sort of worried here. I thought I needed to stay away from the Minotaur. But aside from that, I had more block on my team. And I thought that gave me a significant advantage over the Chaos team at this low-level TV. So let's see what happens. So the Chaos team has opted to kick and go on defense. I think the Chaos coach was hoping to blitz my players and take them out and force the concession. So I've moved a couple of my blitzers to the line of scrimmage. I have block and they don't. The Minotaur kicks the ball and some randomly selected players are stunned. This could go my way or it could go against me. You just never know. Let's see what happens. We haven't actually begun the first turn already. I got a piece of luck here. One of my players was stunned. I think this was the Blitzer. And 4 of their players were stunned, including the much feared Minotaur. So we had an advantage here. The question was, how much do I want to take advantage of this? Do I want to immediately score? If I try to score within the next few turns, it would leave the opposition plenty of time to grab the equalizer, and in the next half the Chaos team could leisurely plot to 2-1 victory. So I had a hard choice to make here. Again, another piece of luck. This line woman gets the ball. So emboldened by this, the fact that my line woman got the ball, I decided to immediately rush to the end zone. Here comes the blitz. I don't think this was a particularly good move. I should have blitzed with the Blitzer, and I think this was actually a misclick. I was hoping to blitz. Instead I moved here, so I was forced to blitz with the line woman. Nonetheless, things worked out for me. Do need someone over here because this player is going to get up. So these players I put deep, but they are now out of position. So the Chaos coach is, I think, feeling a little dispirited here because there was nothing he could do to prevent the pitch invasion. In particular, he couldn't prevent his own players bearing the brunt of it. But nonetheless, he was game enough to continue the match. He did later complain that Nuffle was going my way. And as we shall soon see, things did go my way in the first half. But that is Nuffle for you. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear hits you with a mighty blow. So the blitz did not succeed because the Chaos Warrior does not have any skills, and this Blitzer has both block and dodge. As I previously noted, with a standard 2-die block, there's only a 31% chance of knocking down a Blitzer with block and dodge. So maybe the Chaos Warrior should have targeted one of my line women instead. But I think he was hoping to take out my blitzers as quickly as possible. So the cage is still relatively okay. Could get a 2-die block against this player and free up the cage to move. So these two players are still sort of out of position, but they can go and mark these two players as well as this player over here. I had a numbers advantage, and there's a lot of space over here. It is possible that the Chaos Coach was hoping to get me over here and then hoping to get the Minotaur to blitz the cage and force a couple of players off the field. We'll see what happens. Chaos team has 4 rerolls and 1 reserve player. None of the players on the pitch right now have leveled up. First KO. For some reason, the Chaos Coach was taking a lot of time with his apothecary rolls, or apothecary choices. I'm still not blitz yet. Maybe putting all 3 blitzers over here was not a smart move. So one blitzer blitzes. Knocks down the Beastman. No armor breaks. And now we are moving closer to the end zone. So again, it was a real tough choice. Do I want to score now? I now have the opportunity to score on or in turn 3, my next turn. Do I want to take it or do I want to stall? At this point, I'm very wary of this Minotaur. Deeply concerned what it's going to do. Now, is the coach going to stand the Minotaur up, at which point there's a 50% chance to go wild animal, or is he going to blitz? I think he's going to blitz. Second question, who is he going to blitz? Is he going to blitz the Blitzer who has both block and dodge, or the thrower here who has just come back from injury? So he's attempting to prevent my cage moving forward, and failed GFI, forcing the other coach to use a reroll. Here's the blitz from the Minotaur. Opts to blitz this line woman over here, hoping to injure or take her out. Nope, it fails because of a lack of defender down. Kind of risky blitzing with the Minotaur, not only because of a wild animal, but because he does not have the block skill. KO one Beastman with my Blitzer. A simple block results in a knockdown here. Moving up, trying to get a 2-die block here. So now with a simple blitz here, I can let the ball carrier score. Question is, do I want to? Defender down, and it's only a knockdown. So take a look at the situation here. 4 players over here, well away from the ball. 1 player KO'd. I did have the numbers advantage, but each one of this Beastman could get a 2-die block against one of my players because they have the horn skill, which gives them +1 when they are blitzing. Do I want to take the chance now? Do I want to stall a few more turns? If I score now, I would give the opposition 6 turns to get the equalizer. So this was what I was mulling over at this point in the match. I chose to simply take the 3 SPP. This was Ivy, a line woman. So I still haven't leveled up any players. So the Chaos team had 6 turns. Could they get the equalizer before halftime? One of the players remains knocked out, but they do have a player in reserve, so they start with a full team of 11 for the next drive. So this was a gamble on my part. My thinking here was the opposition does not have any block. I have dodge on most of my players. I'm going to gamble that the Chaos team is going to find it very difficult to knock down my players on the line of scrimmage. I'm going to prevent them from moving freely. I'm keeping 4 players here just in case we need to move left or right. But I think this was a major gamble here. Let's see if it pays off. No players deep as safety. Put 2 blitzers behind 3 now. This was me having second thoughts. I went from 6 to 5. Oh, sorry, 7 to 5. Still a lot of players to commit to the line of scrimmage. Something I would definitely not do if I was playing against the Dwarves or Chaos Dwarves. But I was hoping that dodge would pay off. We get an extra team reroll. Nuffle was continuing to smile upon me. It's a touchback, so this was a piece of good fortune for my opponent here. Puts the player right, gives the ball to this player over here. And the first block is a double skull. And he fails to knock the line woman even with a reroll. Thanks to the dodge skill. Again, another dodge. A half cage over here. The opposition had 6 turns but still seemed to be in a great hurry. I think maybe should have slowed down a little. So this was why blitzing with the Minotaur is always going to be a gamble. He got double skull here after getting a double skull with the Chaos Warrior. Very unfortunate. So I think this was when the Chaos coach complained that I was getting a lot of good fortune thanks to Nuffle. So turnover, how am I going to exploit this? First attempt to mark this player. Could I get a 2-die block? I think I could. I'd have to... Let's see what I do here. This was a attempting to make it easier to get a 2-die block. Bit of a gamble here. Managed to knock down the Beastman. Where's the ball going to go? It goes out. And... man. Still pretty good for us. Awfully close to all these players over here, as well as the Minotaur. But I was feeling reasonably confident here. Had the opportunity to now extend my lead. First position this player over here just in case I fail to pick up the ball. It's only a 1-die block, but I had a reroll handy and I was blocking with a Blitzer. This was a 2-die block. Another piece of fortune, managed to break armor. Even though with AV9 I was running out of time here, and this is one of the problems with open ladder. When the situation is particularly complex, 2-minute turns feel way too short. Typically I usually make a lot of mistakes when time is running out, and I frequently fail to make my moves in time. Managed to successfully pick up the ball with a Blitzer, move back, try to keep away from these players, and now cage up. So again, did not have time to move this catcher over here or try to dodge out with these players. Simply ran out of time. This player could get a 2-die block if he blitzed, but he had to make a GFI. Let's see what the Chaos Coach does. This sort of 3 players are going to find it hard to get over here. He once again blitzes with the Minotaur. Fails to knock down the player because of dodge. But Frenzy kicks in. And unfortunately he fails the GFI. And attempts to reroll. But because of loner, he has to make a 50% chance to use the team reroll, and he failed it. So now the ball carrier is safe. I have 1, 2, 3 players reasonably free. This one Blitzer here could move up after one Blitzer blocks this player. This player is a bit of a concern. Let's see what happens. I now have the opportunity to get the score increased in my favor. First block with a Blitzer, pretty safe. 2-die block. Another stunned. Once again break armor. Another 2-die block with the Blitzer. Knock down again. Now to move the ball carrier up. He does have one safety here. Now I attempt to provide a screen or a cage. A bit loose, but that's quite alright. I was hoping that dodge would keep my players safe. Okay, failed dodge by me. Double ones and my thrower gets stunned. So not everything went my way in the first half, but still my opponent had reason to feel aggrieved, I think. Another blitz by the Minotaur again. I think my opponent here was obsessed with trying to injure my blitzers, but again, as I noted earlier, it is very hard to knock them down. Again, dodge kicks in and he fails his GFI again, fails to reroll again because of Luna. So same thing that happened in the previous turn. Again, I played this coach before and he was very aggressive with his dice rolls. move my ball carrier up closer to the end zone. Once again, keeping players around her. I had the opportunity to blitz this player here. Not sure if I'm going to take it. Let's see what happens. Nope. Hang on. I decide to mark instead. So one blitzer over here is sort of free. If I blitz with this blitzer over here, I can get a 2-die block. 2-die block with block against a player with no block is pretty has a pretty good chance of knocking this Chaos Warrior down, even though he has strength 4. Once I've knocked this Chaos Warrior or pushed him back, I can free up these two players. So here comes the blitz. It's a knockdown. Can't move very far without a GFI. So this blitzer can move up or can move over here to prevent these players going this way. I did take the GFI. I think I have 3 rerolls left. Haven't had the opportunity to use it yet. Dodge out with the line woman, attempt to keep her safe. So I had a pretty good chance of scoring in the next 2 turns here. Three players completely out of position over here. It's a knockdown. And fortunately it's only a stunned. Every time one of my players gets knocked down, I sort of have an anguish expression on my face. Because it's hard to knock my players down, but when they get knocked down, there's a good chance they are going to be removed from the pitch. 1 in 6 maybe not exactly good, but eventually it will happen. I think Amazon coaches should be accustomed to losing 3 or 4 players in a half, either to injury or KOs. So again, another situation where do I want to stall until turn 8 or take the 2-0? If I take the 2-0 now, I have a very good chance of sewing this match up right here and right now. Do I want to stall or do I want to score now? Safe moves first. This player has 5 SPP. My thinking here, if I give her the chance to score, she would level up. This is our newest recruit. If she manages to level up, I could give her the block skill or the wrestle skill. More block is always welcome. So I opt to score. And this is the first level up for my team. Three matches played. 1 player leveled up. I was hoping to level up my blitzers, but my blitzer with 3 SPP was out of position, I think. So his KO player recovers, but he doesn't have much time here. So once again, another choice to make. Do I leave all these players on the front line? I decided to. Maybe a bit cheeky, maybe a bit unnecessary. Let's see what the Chaos coach does here. first knockdown here of the turn. No armor breaks. Another linewoman gets knocked down. Every time one of my linewomen get knocked down, I have a pained expression on my face. This one is a stunned. Third linewoman gets knocked down. Another stunned. Fourth, this time it's a Blitzer. Fortunately, she will pick herself up in turn 8. And the final block results in... not the final block, here comes a Blitz. Once again, against a Blitzer. Not a good choice, I think. Only a pushback. Again, this maybe an unnecessary GFI there. The coach does not have any rerolls. I think the thinking he was trying to get him closer to the end zone to force the to make it easier to score. But with 0 rerolls, it's always going to be tricky. Meanwhile, this is the first time I've used my reroll here in this match. Not the first time. I got a free reroll during the kickoff earlier. But nonetheless, I had very few reasons to use my rerolls. So this was pretty much the perfect first half for me. A lot of things went my way. Well, except for the failed dodge by my thrower. Once again, decides to blitz with a Minotaur. Another dodge. 3-die block. Once again. Only a push. Thanks to dodge. This one is a knockdown. The armor holds. So there's no chance for the Chaos Coach to score. I think he should be thinking in terms of 1 SPP for passing play. And he failed that as well. So he must have been feeling pretty frustrated as his team went in for the halftime tea. I was feeling confident and perhaps a little overconfident because the second half would not go my way. I think that's one of the things. It's very easy to be overconfident in this game, even if you play the game for a very long time. A straightforward kickoff event. It's a touchback once again, and once again the Chaos team coach decides to give the player on the line of scrimmage the ball. He gets a knockdown this time. It's a stunned. Another knockdown. I think the Chaos coach was feeling he wanted to take out his frustrations on my player. And this was the 1 in 9 that happens whenever you block without the block skill. 11% chance of it happening. Eventually it will happen. So bad luck for my opponent, but very good luck for me because now I have the opportunity to blitz this ball carrier who is isolated over here. I have one blitzer over here. I have 2 players capable of providing an assist or picking up the loose ball. So here I was thinking in terms of 3-0. Again, my confidence level was very high at this point. And when that happens, Nuffle tends to make you regret it. So blitzing a player without block is relatively safe. So this is a both down, but because I have block, defender is knocked down because he lacks the block skill. Attempted to pick up the ball, fail. Decide to use the reroll, fail again, but this was not too bad. So maybe I should not have picked up the ball first. Maybe I should have moved these players first. But again, this is what happens when you're feeling overconfident in Blood Bowl. Once again, another blitz with the Minotaur. He's still hoping to injure one of my blitzers. 3-die block, only a push. Sorry, against the thrower. So a slightly smarter choice here. Pushes the ball back. Double skull again. Another pushback. So I think this is the third pair of double skulls my opponent got in this match. Another push, thanks to dodge. Knocked down this time. My line woman gets knocked down, and this is the first injury of the match for the Amazons. So I had the opportunity to use the apothecary. I declined because I don't think a 0 SPP, a line woman, is worth healing, particularly if she's going to be back for the next match. Furthermore, I have 2 players in reserve. I'm down by 1 player here, but the ball was in a pretty comfortable position for me. So again, confidence levels pretty high. So ball is under no threat. I have 1-2 players completely free. These players should be able to dodge out relatively easily because they have the dodge skill. Their dodging chance goes up to 89%. But as we saw in the first half, sometimes you just roll double ones and there's nothing you can do. Once again, attempt to pick up the ball and fail once again. So with the re-roll, picking up a ball with a agility 3 line woman was about 89%. So it's worth taking it, but maybe, just maybe, I should have dodged out all these players before I attempted to pick up the ball. So this was not, I don't think this was good play from me. Turnover again. And I've kept a lot of my players in a position to be blocked. First block results in frenzy kicking in. Yeah, this player is going to get pushed off, I think. Right on the edge. This player could blitz here, push this player off, at which point this player would have a 2-die block against this Blitzer. He has 2 rerolls remaining, so this was an opportunity for the Chaos team to get a numeric advantage. He already has a numeric advantage. He has 11 players to my 10 at this point, but he could further turn the screws. See what he does. 2-die block over here. It's only another push thanks to dodge. Another push. Push again. So maybe not necessary to make a one die block. I think maybe sometimes when the dice don't go your way in the first half, you start thinking, okay, this time for sure, surely the odds are I'm going to fail, I'm going to succeed this time, because in the first half I failed so many times. But that's not how the dice works. The dice have no memory. But nonetheless, he was successful, so where's the blitz coming from? Failed dodge there. This time it succeeds with a reroll, but now my opponent is down to one reroll. Here comes a dodge. It's a successful knockdown. Ball bounces and once again failed to catch it. Another failed GFI. It's a stunned. So my opponent failed to take out both players. He did remove the was it a catcher? Yeah, I think it was. This player is being is in danger of being pushed off the field. I need to dodge out with this player. I need to dodge out with this player. This player kind of hemmed in, but she could dodge this way. But things are not. It's not looking comfortable for me at the moment. I'm already down 2 players. Okay, this was the thing. I was hoping to get a push here, so I attempted to block with my thrower, who of course lacks the block skill. So this was both down and followed by a skull. Was there something else I could have done here? Maybe she could have blitzed with this player. But I was thinking I would keep a couple of players free in case I need to protect the ball after I pick them up. This is one of the mistakes I think players tend to make. Making moves conditional on other moves. Moving these players would only be useful if this move succeeded. I should have ensured that this move succeeded first. And to ensure this move succeeded, I should have made it a 2-die block. So, mistake from me here. Fortunately, no armor break. But still, it's a turnover. I've handed the initiative to my opponents. Another pushback. A simple push this time results in my Blitzer being introduced to the crowd, who don't do much damage to her, thankfully. So it's 11 to 10. 11 to 8 at this point in the match. So another knockdown courtesy of a team reroll. My opponent has 4.5 turns left to play, and he does not have any rerolls left. He does not have the ball because he hasn't picked it up yet. His players only have agility 3. Let's see what happens. Another knockdown. KO 11 to 7 now. So that is how quickly things can go badly for AV7 players. or AV7 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 against 11. Granted, the Chaos coach does not have any rerolls, but neither do I. Used up my rerolls attempting to pick up the ball and knock down the Chaos Warrior with my thrower. All 3 rerolls failed. Chaos coach picks up the ball successfully without any drama. Yes, players free, and my players are sort of hemmed in and out of position. So what would you do if you were the Chaos coach? Would you attempt to score quickly to get 3 SPP for your players and attempt to pressure my team in the next drive in a bid to get the equalizer? Or do you stall? Be content to lose the match 2-1. So the Chaos coach had a decision to make. I was intent on sacking the ball carrier, even though my position was was pretty awful at this point here. I was hoping that my dodge skill would help me extricate my players from here. This one succeeded. So the line woman goes to mark the Beastman. But again, because the Beastmen have horns and the Chaos coach has this player free, so decent attempt to put pressure on the ball carrier. I was hoping that the Chaos coach would fail his dice rolls now. But he kept very calm. This was a successful move. 50% chance to move the Minotaur over here, and he succeeded. Remember, all these dice rolls are without any rerolls. Another successful knockdown. Chain push. Another KO. 11 players to 6 now. This player is sort of next to the ball carrier. Now gets a 2-die block. Is he going to take it? Nope. Goes another player to make it safe. 2-die block without any reroll succeeds in knocking down my catcher. Armor break and injury as well. So I declined to use my apothecary. It's not a serious injury. So that was another 1 in 9. So not much I can do here. Dodge out. Ball carrier over here. One player sort of can dodge out. Maybe. I think this one to go over here would be a 50% chance. With the dodge skill that goes up to 75%, I think. Is it 50% or 33%? Because there are two. Yeah, I think it would have been 33. Let's see what happens. Blitz over here in an attempt to try to make my way to the ball carrier. Successfully dodge out. Put one player next to the ball carrier in a token attempt to make things very uncomfortable for the Chaos coach. Again, 0 rerolls for both of us. And that is a failed dodge. 11% chance to fail with the dodge skill, and I contrived to make it happen. And the player is stunned to boot. Here's a blitz with the Minotaur this time. So, once again, not sure this was the optimal move here. The blitz with the Minotaur did result in a 3-die block. But once again, this can always happen. This is a 1 in 27. Very tiny percentage. It can happen. And because it can happen, it will. So, obviously I'm going to block this guy. Question was, do I want to get a player here to give me a 2-die block? I don't think there was a... This player is sort of free. Couldn't quite position, I think. This one does not provide an assist because this player is there. 1-die block. Chances of succeeding this was 50%. Attacker down, both are down, and defender stumbles. Defender down, defender stumbles, and both down would succeed on a 1-die block. But I rolled a push instead, which is not too bad. 2-die block. Desperation move. Attempting to prevent the touchdown, but very little chance of that succeeding without a reroll. Ball carrier knocks my player down and injures her as well. Badly hurt, so she'll be back in the next match. No harm done. So this is pretty interesting. At this point, I think it became sort of clear that the Chaos coach wasn't really intent or focused upon scoring. What he was doing was he was attempting to pick off my players one by one. If he scored with one of these players, he would level up this Beastman. But if he attempted to injure my players, it would give his players 2 SPP. That would be another way of leveling up. So this player was close. This player is close to leveling up. This player is close to leveling up. See what happens. Safe moves first. Two-die block. Pushes my Blitzer back. Ball carrier is now safe. Now again, if he was intent on scoring, he would score immediately and get the 3 SPP, level up this Beastman. But that was not on his mind. Either this was a very cunning plan, or this was a coach incredibly frustrated by the way things went in this match and was hoping to take out his frustrations on my players. Two-die block did not succeed. This one also fails. Who is he going to blitz with? 2 GFIs without any rerolls. Succeeds both times. Moves the ball carrier back. Hands off to this player over here. The Chaos Warrior only has 0 SPP, so maybe could not have leveled him up. But I think this was pretty much trying to bait me into going into here, decide at which point he would try to injure my players and try to gain SPP that way. One dice block against a player without block. No rerolls handy. Token attempt to mark the Chaos Warrior. So many players free here. So they could easily blitz this Blitzer away. Chaos Warrior needs a 1 GFI to score. Fail dodge there. Another 1 in 9. No, there was not a 1 in 9, was it? There was a 4 plus 50% chance. Sorry, 4 plus 1. So it was a 67% chance of succeeding. Was it? Anyway, was there any reason to block here? I think this was just frustration. So the Chaos Warrior failed, the Chaos team failed to score. That was the end of the match. My injured line woman got the MVP award. Let's take a look at the stats here. The Chaos team got double the blocks. KO'd 2 of my players, injured 3 of my players, and this was in the second half. In terms of SPP, 13 for the Chaos team. They lost 2-0, but they got more SPP. I was really happy to get my catcher leveled up. Let's take a look at dice roll. So from the first half, you would think that everything went my way. Things were coming up roses, but if you take a look at the dice rolls for the overall match, nothing too unusual. 17 sixes, 16 ones. In terms of dodges, below average I think, but that was because I made a couple of risky dodges. Succeeded all my GFIs. In terms of blocks, 9 defender downs, 12 defender stumbles, only 9 skulls. What about my opponent? 17 defender downs, 23 defender stumbles. Remember, against the Amazon team with their dodge skill, defender stumbles is turned into a push. So altogether 56 pushes in this match, and this was the killer I think. 45 1 in 9s. Not 45 1 in 9s, but 22 skulls and 23 both downs. A lot of situations when my opponent either got double skull, I think 3 occasions when that happened, as well as a couple of 1 in 9s. I see one over here. Both downs again. This one resulted in a reroll. Kind of very frustrating match for my opponent in the first half. Sort of recovered in the second, but I don't think I played especially well. I benefited immensely from the kickoff event I think, and the second kickoff. Things went my way, so I was pretty happy with that. Finally leveled up one player. The next match was another concession. I think I'll do a short video before continuing. I will see you next time.